So a few updates after my last video. I have a Sattler Flowtech tripod now. I got my updated one in the mail today. It was actually great. I guess there's some sort of release system, so I had to send the package back, obviously, of the defective tripod, and then they had to inspect it, make sure that it was actually defective and I wasn't trying to scam them, which obviously I was not. And then they prepared another one, and then once everything was good to go, they basically told me on Monday, February 25th or 24th, they would release the package. Today is Tuesday, February 25th, the day after, and it's here already. They overnighted it, which is super awesome on B&H's end. I've got to shoot tomorrow, which is Wednesday, so I thought with the Monday release date, usually B&H packages take 2 to 3 days to get here, so I was not optimistic that I would have it for the shoot on Wednesday, but I'm going to, which is awesome. So yeah, and it's great. It looks awesome. The little scrapes, if you remember that, on the bowl of the tripod, those are not there at all. I'll just go ahead and show you guys how it's looking. So here's the tripod. Like I explained in the other video, this is what the tripod was supposed to do when it was on the head. So it stops there. See how it's, I mean, I could probably tighten it a little bit more, but see how it's not all the way closed, and then I give it the final amount of tension. That was what the other head was not doing. This one is correct, and I've tightened it a good amount, so it releases when I'm up at S, right there. And then when I release it, it stops right here, and then I clamp it down the rest of the way. That was not happening on the tripod. I could not get it to the point where it would where it was tight enough that it would do this and actually stay on the tripod. So this is in great shape. The head, like I mentioned, this thing is heavy, so I can't really lift well with one hand, but the head is in better condition than the other one was, which is awesome. And I gotta take this off for a second. So the head's in great shape, super happy with that. And then the tripod itself also is in a little bit better shape, I think, as well. So yeah, it only took like 2 weeks and some emails back and forth, but I got to get a slightly better version of the tripod that I ordered, which is awesome. And it's in great condition. So Sattler Flowtech 75, Activate head right there. And both are used, but in great condition, and I'm ready to get them rocking and rolling. Quick little BTS segment. I had a shoot on the Sunday in between weeks. I've actually got a couple big projects for a high school that I'm working on, and I needed to capture a bunch of B-roll on a day for one of those projects. So quick little shoot, just FX6 in the kitchen, and that's about all I was running with. I didn't have space to run the easy rig, so for about 3+ hours I was, with breaks in between, but I was carrying around my fully rigged FX6, sometimes with the heavier 70 to 200. So my wrists and arms were tired, and back were all tired after. But it was a good little gig. I got some awesome stuff. Here are a few stills. My inspiration, if you couldn't tell, was The Bear. So I'm a huge fan of that show. I love the visual style. And that was my inspiration for some of the visuals. And then as well as just for the shooting stuff, I'm super happy with how some of the final shots came out. This is some of the best stuff I think I've ever shot. This was a new approach I took to packing my car, writing out everything I'd need the night before, and then making it happen the day of. So feel free to screenshot this list. The wind is not going to work for me. Come on. Right there. Feel free to screenshot that list. Everything on there is packed into this car here. Which I drive a 2020 Chevy Trax, which is not a big car if you have seen a Chevy Trax before. It's an SUV, but it's pretty small. But everything in there is packed into the car here. So I can take you a little lap. Here's all the C-stands and other stands. This is my big grip case. It's got a whole bunch of different stuff in there. Camera case, 300C. Borrowing some Nan lights for this. My battery case, easy rig. I've got some other grip stuff in there, as well as a second set of sticks, 2 modifiers, which actually this lantern softbox is not on the list, but I'm bringing it anyways. New Sattler tripod. You can see the C-stands in here. And then up front, we've got sandbags and our camera bag for the FX6. So yeah, just want to share my game of Tetris that I play every time I pack. And it was helpful for me to do this because I got to the end and then the boom pole was the only thing I hadn't highlighted because I hadn't packed it in the car yet. So I had to remember to grab that. So super helpful way to remember everything so you don't forget anything. To write it all out the night before as you're thinking through, okay, what is everything I could possibly need on this shoot? And then you write it out and you bring it. Well, I'm currently still able to fit all of my gear that I need in my car somewhat comfortably. I am getting to the point where I'm starting to think ahead about a work vehicle for the future, maybe a van, maybe a truck, who knows, but that's going to be a problem for a later day. This gig was one I got through a mutual friend. He hooked me up with it, and he was actually the interview subject, so that was kind of a cool little opportunity, but yeah, it was a quick little testimonial plus B-roll shoot, pretty classic stuff. I was done in about 3 to 4 hours, so it didn't take too long, and got paid about a half-day rate. So pretty easy gig, no edit, which was nice as always. This room was somewhat small, but I had just enough room to work with. I set up my Amaran 300C on a stand, 48-inch softbox, and that was motivating from the window, so that was our key light. I added some ambient fill to the room just to bring the level up in the room, and then I used my tiny little newer battery-powered light to just give a little bit of a hair light to edge the side of his head. I thought it turned out looking pretty good. Here's a final still from the A cam and from the B cam. And then, here's some stills from the B-roll. It was a pretty run and gun scenario. I think the final video is going to be maybe 2 or 3 minutes long, so we didn't need a ton, but I'm hopeful that we got more than we needed. But yeah, pretty easy little shoot. Pretty happy with everything, how it all came out. Got to shoot in an airport, which was cool. Did my first testing on the FX6 weatherproofing, which it held up fine. And here's a quick little video of, I know David Moorfield just showcased the Sattler dance on the Flowtech, but I actually do it a way where you don't have to do the dance at all. There you go. Close it up beforehand, latch it up, it drops straight down. And I do the same thing to open it as well. It's great. I'm loving this tripod. Amazing investment. So happy I put in the money to pick it up. Moving on to Thursday and Friday of the same week, I started a big project. There was an event that I got hired to provide full coverage for. I did this project last year at the same time, and it was a much easier job of doing coverage. Essentially, the only ask was for a few stills from the event. I did photography, and then also just kind of a B-roll montage situation covering the event. This year, however, he wanted full coverage of all of the sessions. So I set up my 6600 in the back as a wide shot with a 24-70, and then I set up the FX6 with a 70-200 as our coverage camera. So that was more of a tight follow shot on the speaker throughout the entirety of the presentation. So that meant I had to bring on a buddy. I brought on Deontay as the camera operator for the coverage shot, so that was a good opportunity to bring a friend on. We also, for general room audio, decided to set up a boom mic, kind of just stuck out over the audience. It didn't sound terrible. We ended up using the DJI mics, which were amazing for the speaker, so that we could just lav him up and then have that audio straight to camera through the Sony Hot Shoe adapter, which is incredible. Quality was great. The battery lasted. Most of the time, the receiver actually dies faster than the transmitter. Out of the box, the transmitter says it's supposed to give you about 15 hours of runtime. The receiver gave us 4 or 5 before it started to give us warnings that it was low battery. So that was super easy. I just plugged it back in. You can see the lav on our speaker there, and then everything working with the camera here. But yeah, the rig worked out great. Sattler tripod was super smooth. Deontay gave a raving review about the tripod. He was very happy to operate that the whole day. We also had some interviews that we picked up at lunch. So those were pretty easy. We just brought our FX6 in, shifted the boom pole around and used that for audio. It was mostly okay with the general room audio, but a little bit of background chatter. You can also see here I brought back my light panel with the pillowcase over it, which worked mostly well for this. I didn't want to bring in a whole light and softbox situation, especially when I just didn't feel like it was needed or feel like we had the space for it. So yeah, it was coverage during the day, and then interviews at lunch, then more coverage after, and then we had a few times where we kind of just floated and got B-roll of things as they did tours around the school, things like that. So pretty easy coverage, especially on day one. Day two, I decided to make a change. I'll show you that here. All right, day two of our event shoot. I picked up this from a buddy. I'm renting it because I was running around getting B-roll with the 24-70 yesterday and did not have enough reach for a lot of the shots I wanted to get. So I'm going to swap between this and my 24-70. See 70-200 f4 GM Mark II or G Mark II. I don't think this is a GM. I don't know. Deontay, what are your thoughts on these DJI mics?
Let me tell you something, man. The quality on these things is unmatched. First of all, the user like capability of these, like the actual like mechanics of it, the ergonomics, all the things. It's so user friendly. It honestly with these like. I literally told Colin yesterday, I was like, bro, life should be just that easy. Like, just to turn the thing on, it's already connected. You pop the receiver on the thing, and then it's all done.
No cables.
No cables, no nothing.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, and the sound quality is just chef's kiss. So, like, it's on my list now, and Colin's going to get my invoice for all the things that I'm about to buy. Because, yeah, these are solid.
DJI sponsor them.
Oh yeah, no. Just send the money. Send the money.
Shout out again to Deontay. He was a big help the whole day. It was great to not have to worry about that locked off shot or the operated camera, just knowing that he was handling it and making sure it was looking great. I did learn my lesson. One of the biggest things I took away from this event was, we shot for 2 days straight from about 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And my normal workflow is with both of the FX cameras, S-Log3 in the Cine EI mode, which is a lot of color information, and comparatively to other codecs and things, smaller file sizes, obviously it's no Red Raw or RE or anything like that, but it's about a gig or two a minute, and so I ended up shooting over a terabyte of information in these 2 days, and I just for my own sake was like, oh yeah, I'll just shoot the whole thing how I normally shoot everything. So I shot it all Cine EI and log and all this stuff. So all that to say, I'm going to figure out, I've actually got a gig this coming week where I will need to bake the color in. And so I'm going to change up my workflow and figure out how to use Cinetone and smaller codecs so that when I shoot an event like this again, I can not destroy my hard drives. So that was my big takeaway, was doing more research to find an option for shooting that's going to be nicer to my storage. And but overall it was great. I think we got some great stuff. I think we did a great job, and happy with the 2-man crew we had, happy with everything we shot, and it'll be time soon to start getting those deliverables out. So yeah, I think it was a great event, great learning experience, and it's been a good couple weeks of work. March has definitely been more busy than February was. It was pretty dead in February. So going into March will be a lot more busy, and looking forward to sharing those projects with you guys.